What's up, everybody? This is Julie and Kathleen with another episode of my favorite episode of today. Kathleen, what are we talking about and who are we talking to?
We are talking to Kyle, and he is doing season 6, episode 19 of fucking Sister Wives.
Sister Wives.
The commitment celebration and a truly insane pick.
Absolutely insane. I've never heard of this show. Like, I don't know if
Really?
I live under a rock. I've never heard of this show. I had no idea what it was about.
Kyle, how are you doing? And tell us why you picked this insane show.
Oh my gosh. Well, one, I'm so sorry that you lived so long of your life without knowing Sister Wives. I've been in the family seemingly for a few years at least. No, I am. When y'all said if I wanted to be on the show or not, I'm known for really liking horror and sci-fi shit, and I was like, okay, well, I could find an episode of Twin Peaks or Tales from the Crypt that I liked, but Carly, my wife, and I have been watching Sister Wives during her lunch breaks. We've watched it before, but this is only the third or fourth time we've watched it, but we have access to TLC now through some magical presence, and now we can rewatch all these. We can watch those first seasons that we never saw and watch the most recent seasons that we never caught up to. But this one's smack dab in the middle, and goddamn, gosh darn, is it a great episode to be talking about? So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And since you said gosh darn, I want to just tell you that my first note is what the fuck. It's literally just what the fuck, and then the second note is this dude's a cult leader.
Literally, he reminded me of Doc Antle or whatever that guy's name is, just from Tiger King.
Yeah,
like I was like, we got another Doc on our hands.
Yeah,
a morally heightened Doc. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I need you to walk us through the situation, right? So we have Cody, which is the husband, and then Cody has 4 wives, which are Mary, Robin, Janelle, and Christine.
Yeah. So just to give you a basis of the show, because you came in a very interesting point, which is what makes it one of my favorite episodes, because I think that if you are talking to somebody who does not know Sister Wives, this is a bonkers but completely accurate portrayal of what it is, right? So the whole genesis of the show starts when Cody only has 3 wives and Robin becomes the 4th. I think that's within the first and second seasons. And then it's just all seemingly downhill from there. 4 is just somehow too much.
Wait a second. I have questions. Yeah. All the seasons are about Cody? All of them?
So, yeah.
What?
Yeah. So
I thought this was his season.
Yeah, because there's 16 seasons, isn't there?
I'm going to throw up.
It's all about the entire family, with Cody being the head of the household and their wives being subservient to Cody. So,
whoa.
Yes, it's all about Cody every goddamn episode.
Oh,
okay.
my gosh.
My whole view of this has changed.
Oh my God! I didn't know. This is a beautiful thing to be. I'm sorry, just a beautiful thing to be talking about with people who don't know a damn thing, because I love my wife, but she knows everything about this show. It's crazy.
Tell us everything. Tell us every detail you know.
Well, wait. So like Kathleen said, she kind of cut you off and said she had questions, and so do I, and I'm sure you'll answer them. Yeah. But the one thing that I noticed is that, so I did pick up on that there was 3 of them originally, because I think they say it in the very beginning, and then they're like, well, you said you wanted 3 of us, and then Robin came along, so we wouldn't be surprised. Kind of taking a jab where it's you can't really do that because there's 3 of you to begin with, so But I feel like they all look similar, and then Robin comes in and she's a complete different look, and I'm like, Cody, what are you doing? You experimenting with a different type now? I'm thinking Cody might have 4 more wives now. What is Cody doing right now?
Robin is the midlife crisis wife. Midlife wifis.
No, I love it.
Call her.
Nailed it.
Yeah, no, it is. Mary, Janelle, and Christine all pretty much look similar, and then Robin comes in with 3 kids of her own, and just Yeah.
So that was another
Yeah,
question if were they all his kids? Because I was like trying to count them. I'm like, how many kids are there? And I think they say it at one point, but I missed it. So during the ceremony, I'm like literally trying to count by twos because they walked together in twos, and I kept like miscounting.
Yeah, I actually, to be honest with you, I don't know the number that are actually his. I do know that 3 of them are not.
Okay.
So I don't know. I forget how many there are. And I remember his name and the wives' names pretty good. The kids are, just they're a blur to me. I don't know.
Honestly,
and I should by now. I'm so bad with names.
Wait,
me too.
So let me just ask: are you caught up completely?
Yes.
Through the 14 seasons or whatever?
No.
Okay.
No. I am ahead of where I stopped in my life. Like I'm behind where the furthest I've got is before because we're rewatching it. However, I've not made it to the end. So I don't know. I don't know where I am or if this is real.
My God.
What is anything?
What is anything at all? But no, I have not finished the entire season. No, I do know things that happen later on because like they also become tabloid fodder because they've been on TV forever.
Yeah.
So like, me and tabloids, I guess. They've been on for TV for so long, and it's really odd.
I'm joking.
Just really quick.
She's
speechless. She's speechless.
Do you ever
Kyle.
like take a deep breath and you like choke on your own spit? Because that's exactly what just happened to me.
Really quickly, like what you said, I didn't even think of this. I was just thinking, they're throwing shade at Robin. But you're right. Like you already have 3 wives. Who cares?
Yeah.
But now that I know that it's the same guy for all 14 seasons, and you're right, like she does not look like the other ones. I feel like even in a world where you have multiple wives, when you throw a wrench in it like that, different style, she already has kids, all like you're just fucking it up basically. That is so interesting that you said that because I didn't even think about it. I was watching this just purely like holy shit because I've never seen it, and I was like, you saying that, I'm like, damn, their psyches are probably like, the fuck are they bringing this girl in for? Like, she doesn't look like us. She really does
look polar opposite of them.
But she was my favorite.
Yeah. No, I was actually, and we're jumping ahead and I don't mean to, but like I was hysterically laughing at her reading her vow thing that she had to read. And like I shouldn't be because if I had to read my own vows, I'd be the exact same way. But the way that she kept like stopping, like I was like hysterically laughing, like just picturing being in that crowd watching that. I would never survive.
No, there's no way, especially because they've been working on basically their vows and their mission, this family mission statement for like over 6 months. And it's like, girl, like what it says by now. Like get all your emotions and feelings out of the way. You don't need to like have your strong ass jaw quiver when you like do this, because her jaw is a box and it gets worse in longer seasons.
And at first I thought she couldn't read. Like I thought she was like stuttering, and then I was like, oh wait, she's crying. We're crying now.
She's being a wuss.
Yeah.
Is what I say.
So is this show still on, or is this done?
So I actually don't know. I believe that it's done.
Okay.
Or on like, I don't know if it's done or on like this weird TLC hiatus, because TLC shows I never really actually feel like they're over. I feel like they're just like went back to the dugout basically and are just waiting to get called up again. And I feel like this is one of those shows. There's a lot of like spoiler things that go on, but I also don't believe that you or your listeners might go further into Sister Wives for it being.
You can spoil.
I'm telling you to spoil everything.
Cool. Okay. So
spill the tea.
This is gonna be crazy because we're literally going off of this like commitment ceremony into Mary being catfished by somebody into like an emotional affair, basically.
No.
Prior to that, Mary legally divorces Cody so that Robin can marry him and then he can legally adopt the kids, which is another just sort of crazy thing. Mary's one and only daughter, who in earlier seasons like claims that like polygamy is like the end all be all, that she will be a plig wife and like, be whatever, goes off to college and returns a lesbian. And just the kids keep leaving one by one by one. And it's just glorious that when they find themselves out of this weird Las Vegas cul-de-sac where they all currently live.
The cul-de-sac.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, so does Cody live in one and then the other wives live in the others?
No, I think he bops.
Oh, I have to reverse spoil it now. I have to explain where we've come from.
Yes.
So they had to flee Utah because it's illegal to be in a polygamous relationship in Utah. I don't know if it's legal in Nevada, but they fled to Nevada. And so they all used to live in one house.
Okay.
They all used to live in one house.
Jesus.
And then they bought these 4 separate houses in the cul-de-sac. So Cody spends like a certain number of nights in each house.
Wait, question.
Crazy.
I thought Utah was the place for that, which is why when the truck rental comes up and it says Las Vegas, I was like, oh, they're in Nevada, which is interesting because I thought Utah was like the polygamy capital of the world.
So it's the Mormon capital, and they are a Mormon sect that practices polygamy. But the Mormon church does not condone, nor is it legal in the state of Utah. And I think they've used the legality to combat it. And then they've had these other Mormon sects that believe in polygamy flee. So that's you're correct in a sense, but then legally made it so that you can't be in Utah. It's bonkers. That's another great episode. That's maybe season 2 or 3. There when they flee from Utah to Las Vegas. It's a great episode.
Oh my god.
This makes so much more sense that it's them the whole time because I remember I was sitting with my roommate watching it last night and she loves this shit. So I am not a reality TV girl, so I was like, well, I used to be, but not anymore. And so I'm watching with her and I'm like, he picked season 6, episode 19, and it is good, but it is not there's nothing insane happening besides the premise itself being insane. Yes. It's just an insane lifestyle they're living and the dresses and whatever, we'll get into it. But I remember being like, how did he choose this episode? But it makes so much more sense now that it's just them the whole time. How can you have 14 seasons of something?
I know.
Dude.
And of your own family.
You keep getting renewed. They can't renew some of the best shows after
I know.
season 2,
Oh,
and
God.
then this keeps getting renewed. Are you fucking kidding me?
All my shows need to move to TLC. They'll get picked up.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, that's where the money's at. That's the
So walk us through. We watched it for the episode. You've seen it, but for those who haven't seen it, walk us through what is going on in this episode.
Absolutely. So we've talked about the family and the structure of the family. So their name, it's the Brown family, the Cody Brown family, as we'll come to know them later on in the episode. So he now has his 4 wives. They've moved to Las Vegas. They're establishing themselves in their family and in their houses, I guess. And they've always felt particularly, oh my God, Mary, Christine.
Janelle and Robin.
No. Okay, no,
Janelle.
I'm thinking Christine. Excuse me. I combined Justine, which was not a Y. Excuse me. So Christine has this desire, and seemingly the rest of the family does too, but Christine really puts forward that she wants to have a family motto and a family, I forgot the term she uses now, but she has a whole idea that they're going to have almost this coat of arms for the Cody Brown family. And so they want to have a ceremony where they commit themselves to their family again with this personal mission statement, with this family mission statement. All right. And they've worked on it for 6 months. And Christine in previous episodes keeps bringing it up. And it's not a point of disturbance in the family, but it's hey, why are you doing this? And to the point where they eventually all cave in and agree that they need to have some Cody Brown mission statement for the family. So all in all, they're going to have this big party that they're going to commit themselves in their family and present themselves to their other friends who aren't necessarily polygamous, but be this is what our family stands for. And this is for you, I guess, and not for us. This is the culmination. This episode is everything that has led up to the day of the ceremony, the day before and the day of. So a couple episodes before, they've been building it up. This is the ceremony. So we get dropped in the middle of an absolute fiasco where the wives have hired and fresh out of fashion school graduate to design 4 dresses, each of them individual and representational of the wife, in 3 weeks. 4 dresses in 3 weeks, fresh out of school.
From scratch.
From scratch. Build them from scratch. They are completely like from scratch. And this is where it all begins for us, I guess, is what before I get too far ahead.
Yeah,
This is where I think the magic happens in this episode.
Truly.
The Robin dress situation, when I think the fashion person is her name Sam?
That rings a bell. We're going to call her Sam now.
I think it's Sam.
Her name is Sam now.
Yeah.
Yeah, her name is Sam now because I remember it says something like her, and I'm like, it would say like blank's mom, and I'm like, who the fuck is blank? We're gonna say Sam.
Yeah,
in this case.
her name is.
So, and then I realized Sam was like the designer. But when Robin tries on her dress, and Sam's just like eyeing her up and down, and she's just like, "Do you have another dress you can wear?" And I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
Let me just like preface this for everybody. These dresses are the most heinous display of fabric I've ever seen. The one was like she could have been on the set of Game of Thrones. Like the leathery looking one is out of control.
The green one.
So 2 of them worked out. One of them had to go shopping on her own. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about, Kyle. What is the name of the woman? Every time they had kind of like a talking head with Cody in the middle and the 2 wives on each side. Who's the one all the way to the right that's like loud as hell?
That is Christine.
She is wilding out all the time. When the scene where the one whose dresses doesn't work out all the way to the left is like, my best friend's coming, and she's like, we're supposed to be your best friends, like screaming. And I'm like, no, that can't be true. Stop.
This is crazy. Upon first watch, Christine was my favorite because I was like, oh, she's like loud and like she like gives it back to Cody a little bit and like bah, 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 bah. And then like I rewatch it and I'm like, oh my god, she might be the worst one. She's antagonistic and she's like super awkward and is trying to like force everybody into this weird family mold that seemingly nobody like wants to be into, i.e. the mission statement of this family that she comes up. Like she's the mission statement like head honcho and it's horrible.
Yeah, she needs to chill. The green dress threw me off because I was like, "Ooh, that doesn't look that bad." And then I realized that the little white jacket was included.
She's like, that one doesn't have sleeves. Like she's trying on all these dresses and picks the worst one
with the cami underneath. And it's like so 13-year-old. Like we wore camis under everything, and she has this nice, well, not nice, but she has a fancy dress on, and then just this white cami under it with this short little white jacket.
I would just like to preface that when I was watching this, I said this must be airing in 2004. I looked it up, 2014. I'm like, yeah, these dresses are from Deb. Exactly. Like they're bad. They're really bad. The ones that they're making are bad. The one Robin ends up in is not bad. Yeah. But I would just want to go back real quick.
She had to dip into her own closet for that one.
I know.
Like, come on.
But so just going back to Christine in the best friend part, she says, "Oh my awkward Batman." At some point I was like, no, that can't. No, stop.
No, you better stop.
That's really, you better stop with that. But yeah, so the dressing is crazy because they're making this woman like stay up all night to finish these dresses, and at the last second, like Julie said, she looks her up and down and is like, do you have something else you could wear?
Like it's like so brutal. Like if someone said that to me, I would immediately start crying.
It seemed life or death. Like getting those dresses done seemed like it was life or death. They were going to shun this woman, and then it was just like Sam tried really hard. In hindsight, we shouldn't have asked her to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
at the end of this episode, I'm going to text my wife while we're on Skype here. So while at the end of the episode, I remember Carly and I looked up that fashion designer to see if she ended up doing anything, because like if that was her first gig like out of school and like was televised and just like blew it. Not only was she wasn't going to make it anyway, but she especially blew it on TV.
Boy,
we wanted to see if she was a fashion designer. I'm almost positive she's not, but I will report back with what she is by the end of this episode.
Yes, please let us know. There was 2 other moments that like literally made me laugh out loud. One was the cake that was a tree and it had their names carved into it with like hearts, and the one of the wives is like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I'm just like,
it was an octopus
like
tree.
crickets.
It was scary.
Like, there's crickets in my house. I'm like,
first of all, I'm keep waiting for like an explosion to happen in this episode, just because I'm like, he chose this episode. I'm waiting for the explosion, and now I understand it's probably the dresses and the one line that Cody says that I'm gonna let you deliver, because it's just like one of the greatest things of all time. But I was waiting for the explosion. So in the commercial coming up, and they're talking about the cake, I'm like, the cake is gonna be like people banging each other or something insane.
No,
like I was like, this cake has
tree.
to be like crude, like this like disgusting cake. And then it was like, not, I mean, it was stupid, but I was like, this cake is gonna be insane. Like they can't even display it. And then it wasn't. I was like,
oh my
okay.
God. I was just laughing at like the one being like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then Cody during the pictures, his like meltdown during the pictures, so fucking funny.
Deliver the line, Kyle. I would like to hear from.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna Tarantino this and say the line first, and then we can talk about it. Look down the lens. And they say this in the show, and seemingly the biggest difficulty of any party, like a large party, a wedding, or whatever, is taking pictures to make sure everybody is involved, right? Mm-hmm. So, and in this one, seemingly Cody needs to take a picture with every individual family, and then the entire family together, and then like probably like his wives separately, and then other wives together. And you can imagine with 4 wives and 20 some odd kids that it's going to be difficult, right? So he's already stressing. Cody's been stressing since the jump. Since he married Mary like 30 years ago, he's been stressing, right? And it's all led up to this point. And he is trying to gather the kids. The kids are, he's got young ones in there too that are like maybe, 3, 4, 5 years old or whatever. And they are throwing a fit, and he's trying to line everybody up. It's not working. And he, at some point, and all the wives like come to his aid. They're like, he was dehydrated, or like his blood sugar was low.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And you know it.
I know. I died when she was like, he must have just been dehydrated. Like, no.
No. And that all leads up to him screaming at his kids for them to look down the lens. And then they take a picture, and then the next scene automatically, which goes to your point with them like always sort of teasing before commercial break. They're like, you're going to see the cake and there's going to be a problem. But like TLC shows don't have that like dramatic drop that like other reality shows have. Mm-hmm. It's like they work it up in the preview, and then like when it comes, it's just like this happy-go-lucky like whatever. It's like, yeah, it's a shitty cake, but it's not like it's not ruining the party.
Right.
Like, and that's exactly what happened here. They've teased Cody yelling at the camera the whole episode, and then like the next scene is him like walking past all of his kids and being like, you guys look great, like good job out there, like high five kids. And I'm like, what the fuck, is he okay?
No. And then the little girls are like not even acknowledging him. They're like, you fucking psycho.
Yeah.
We have to talk about, it's not just him yelling that line, but it's the weird smile. Like smile, like the rage into a smile for the picture after he does it, and he looks insane.
Yes.
That's the picture for this episode, by the way. His weird smile. I'll get a screen grab if we need it, because I was watching this being like, he's not okay.
No, he's not.
He's not okay for once. He was like, look down the lens, and then this weird crazy smile, but then would like ease and then go right into the crazy one again. I'm like, oh my God. But I also did, like you said, I love it when when he's bopping around to each kid and he's like, I gotta just tell them how special they are. And he's like, you look beautiful, very handsome, love that suit. I'm like, this guy is like a president shaking babies' hands. Like, he doesn't know. He's like, what's your name again? Shaking babies' hands. Like, I am not convinced he knows all of his kids' names. I'm not sure.
I'm not.
So are they all his kids except for Robin's? They're all his kids?
Yes, and Robin has 2 that are his.
Okay.
So Robin has 5. Mary has 1 kid, and later on that becomes a fucking ordeal. Janelle, the second wife, has 5 or 6 or 7, and Christine has 5 or 6 or 7, and Robin has 5, 3 of which are not Cody's, and now they're starting to have grandkids. It's oof.
You know really, what's so crazy to me is like thinking about how to these kids, they think that this is normal.
Yeah.
And like they are just like, we're siblings, like we share the same dad, they're like friends, we're like, I feel like, and obviously this is because I was raised by two parents, so like I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
My dad is not your fucking dad. Like I'd be like a dick. Like, and it's because like the thought of this like freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah. Well, it sort of makes me wonder what the youngest kids must feel, because those older kids all grew up in the same house together.
Right.
So like even though they like had different moms, they were literally in the same place. Like these other kids that are growing up in Las Vegas that are like completely sort of separate. Like, I wonder if that's more of like you consider them an aunt situation. But then if you read the family mission statement, like they ain't aunts, like that's your other mom. Like they're all moms. And it's so complicated. Like that's why I love when the older kids like go off and we see that in some of the later seasons, because they come back and they're like, we've seen the world and it is not what we've been taught. And it's like, it makes things totally different. It's crazy.
One of my favorite parts was when you see the adults all the time and you see flashes of the kids, but then they give the kids talking heads. They give the adult kids, the younger kids, and then the youngest kids. And it is funny, like showing them, because the younger ones are just like all sitting on a couch. I'm like, these are babies. Like, and the one girl, I don't have the quote, but it's so dumb. And she's just like,
God,
if you thought I can't tell us to keep a secret, I'm just going to say I kept that secret. Like, it's so stupid and funny.
It's like kids 101. It's like they will say something stupid if you give them any chance to. And she did. Like, that's Savannah. I think that's Janelle's youngest kid. And I remember that line so vividly.
What I meant to do was write down all the kids' names, because they're so Payton, Paedon. There's one really crazy, like McKelty. Yeah, there's some crazy names. I'm like, damn, they're just making them up out of they're picking letters out of a hat.
I think the older kids are stupid. Like, they're just like, it's like so. But I could never live this lifestyle because I am so jealous. Like, if my significant other, it was like, day 4, time to go see my second wife. Like, I'd be like, bitch, don't be surprised when her tires are slashed tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Kyle, do you have like insight on how the other women feel and why this is like a lifestyle they like?
So that's something that they defend often, and they do it in a couple different ways. They do it like using, small, what would be considered insignificant, like story lines in single episodes, right? Like something stupid, like something about how one of them is celebrating an anniversary, like say Mary and Cody are celebrating an anniversary. They'll like sort of like edge into how the other wives are feeling about that, but they all have the same answer where it's like, this is her time. Like they need to celebrate their anniversary. Bah, 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 bah. And then the second time that they ever do this is that each season has what they call a tell-all, which is basically a recap episode with a host that like chimes in and checks on the family during like particularly dramatic times during the season. They'll like replay old bits and then they'll talk about it like on that tell-all show, right? So the interesting thing is that like this show has a lot of reality TV tropes, but the way TLC does it is like this weird bullshit feel good, but also like question their like family situation. Like it's no like Siesta Key or any of that, like where it's just drama. It's like so low key and so low stakes until it's not. Yeah. So yeah, they address the jealousy a little bit, but they all have like the same answer where it's like, yeah, like we can get jealous sometimes, but it's like then he comes home over to my place and like it's fine or like whatever. And it's just weird.
It is so weird.
So weird. I can't get down with that lifestyle.
No.
There also are glimpses where it's like in other episodes and in other seasons, it's like there's glimpses and like, oh, these are like decent parents. Like they parent their kids like pretty all right. But it's like the environment in which they do so or the content in which they do so is so difficult for me to grasp. Mm-hmm. And then they do some bullshit like this. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. This is a dumb family.
Yeah. So this is off topic, but do you watch Siesta Key?
I watched the first 2 episodes of season 3 because it was available to me. And then I went, my wife and I went back and tried to start from the top. And the only thing that's like easily accessible is season 1, episode 1, which we watched. And now we're looking forward to going back and continuing Siesta Key.
Okay.
That was, I don't know why that was my example, because maybe I should have like, had a better show because I've only watched 3 episodes, but it felt like it was in my memory.
No, and you're spot on, because I watch Siesta Key. That's like my guilty pleasure show, and it's all drama constantly. I think that's why I love it. Like, I'm like, I need to know what happens with this person. Like, I like get sucked in. We were both big Laguna Beach people, so I'm like, dude, you have to watch Siesta Key. It's like the modern day Laguna Beach. Like, it's just a bunch of rich kids like doing whatever they want, getting away with that. But it's like so stupid and so addicting, where you get like so absorbed of what's going on with them. So you were spot on with that example.
I think we watched like 2 nights ago, which is why it's on my mind. I've been thoroughly enjoying what we have seen.
Yeah.
I don't know if Madison is still in season 3, but Madison from season 1 spells her name with 2 S's. So whenever Carly and I talk about her, we always go Madison, like as if she like was unsure of how many S's her name had, and it just gets more and more drastic every time we talk about
That's
her.
hilarious.
Anyway,
so
that's goals. That's goals, by the way.
She is on season 3, and you won't believe what is going on with her right now.
Actually, my mother-in-law watches Siesta Key.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
So we have to catch up with her.
Yeah.
See, that's why it's like I would watch Siesta Key if it was readily available to me. Kyle, I don't know where you plan on watching it, but if it's not like on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, you can buy episodes for $1.99.
Okay,
but I
buy
just
100 episodes for $1.99.
But I just use my sister because I don't have cable, so it actually made me laugh when Matt was like, this is free on Sling, because we do have Sling. So I'm like, oh, how convenient, I have Sling. So
finally it worked out.
That's why we keep Sling.
Yeah, it finally worked out for me, because Sling has been like really messing with me. Like, I've been trying to binge shows and they delete stuff. So like they might have a season 1 of something, but only episodes like 4, 5, and 6. And I'm just like, Sling, what are you doing? Like, this is pissing me off. But they did have this, which was great. But for Siesta Key, MTV's not included on Sling, so I use my sister's cable like thing, whatever, her login for the MTV app, because we have smart TVs now, so like we just stream everything. We don't have cable, just like the rest of the world, I guess.
Wait, but you can do that because you're caught up, so you only watch 1 episode at a time. Like I couldn't do.
No,
I
like
have
if you're
cable.
a parent, if you have cable, you can watch it through the
All
MTV app. Yeah,
seasons 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
just download the MTV app.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah. You can too.
Fine. Do I have to watch Siesta Key now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When I come back, we'll find a collective favorite episode of Siesta Key.
Love that. Hell yeah.
Way to get us off topic. We love getting off topic.
We do. Getting back a little bit, so when they do read the mission statement, Cody's holding the like littlest baby, and I wish I wrote down this line, because when I say I repeated it 100 times last night, she gets on the mic and she is maybe 3, like maybe not even, and she's just like, thanks for coming, don't leave yet, or like something so cute. But the way she said it, I was repeating it all night, and Kelsey was like, stop. I thought it was the cutest, sweet, because at first I was being kind of mean about this baby. I was like, that's a crazy baby.
Yeah.
I'm like, this baby's nuts. She's got like white hair. I'm like, and then I'm like, wait, no, this baby's mine, because she's the one. She's probably the most shown kid. This baby is running around the party and grabbing one of the 7,000 apps that they have.
That baby is her name is Truly, and it's not spelled like the hard seltzer. It's spelled with an E. So Truly.
Where do they get these names?
Almost died a couple seasons earlier. No. She had like a kidney failure or some like crazy thing, and I don't think it's why she looks like that. I think she's just pale and blonde.
She looks like Albert Einstein in baby form.
Oh my god! You two better stop.
She's got an odd look to her, but it didn't know what she said was the cutest. It was like, I can't mimic it because I'm not a.
You're not a cute baby.
I'm not a baby. I'm not a baby. But it was adorable. It was so.
Yeah, that's what she's like. Thanks for coming. Don't leave yet.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I was like, yes.
See, you were like cute. I was just like, all right, let's go. Like if I was at that event,
Who
I'd be
let
like,
that baby talk?
where is the scallop wrapped in bacon? Bring it to my table.
It's like, this baby has 4 moms. One of you get her, please.
I know. She's like, we've lost all control, and it like shows her like sprinting across the thing. I'm like, what is going on? Somebody get that child.
Yeah. Oh, truly, did you spend 6 months on this mission statement? I don't think so. You can talk about it.
Yeah.
You were in the hospital.
Oh my God.
I love that. That's good.
I do have one other thing that I feel like we need to talk about. I was texting Kyle about this. The wedding band. The song that they pick. It is the weirdest editing choice I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, when you said wedding band, I thought you meant
the ring.
No. I mean like the actual band where he's like, all right, let's get this party started. And it is like the most ambient, slow, boring song, but they're partying like WAP is coming out of the speakers.
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy.
Well, they played that song earlier in the episode, and I looked at Kelsey and I go, I don't hate this song. And I forget what the lyrics are. I should have wrote them down. But then they start... It's like, oh, they brought that band to play their original fucking song. And I was like, you're right, though. He's like basically crumping to it. It's insane.
Crumping.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm dead.
Yeah. So my assumption is that this was some sort of Las Vegas cover band that they hired, and they didn't have any rights to any of these songs. But for some reason, the editing team was like, this is a very like, emotional end of the show moment, because like they did it. They had their party, like they're together. Look at this beautiful family. And it's like, no, I don't want to look at this beautiful family like bopping around off beat to this weird like jam that you like, that your producer's like nephew like made, and then you threw him a bone
exactly that.
Like put it on there. I don't want this.
Yeah.
Cody's dancing. If there is a supercut of Cody's dancing anywhere, send it to me, because he is awful and he is white, and his dance moves are just and his hair does not get any better at any point in any seasons, y'all. So don't trip when you like see any of his hair. It's exactly how it should. It's exactly how God intended it to be.
Yeah. When he gets like shaved and shit, like his face, they're just like, oh, he looks like so sexy, and I'm just like, God, I fucking hate this show. I swear.
Oh, the wives. Some of the wives love when he pulls his hair back, and they swoon. And I don't swoon.
So let's just talk about Cody spends. If it's a 42-minute episode, he spends 30 minutes stringing lights from all 5 houses into the center. And he is so stressed out about it. And there's a scene where Robin is kind of like, why don't we do the rehearsal tomorrow or today? Whichever it's supposed to be, she wants to do it on a different day. The women are like stressed out. They're like, well, and then Cody's like, no. And the women are like, well, you don't have to do your hair. I'm like, he does have to get a blowout, I think.
Yeah.
He does have to get this blowout, but he like freaks out that he's like, I don't need a micromanager or control freak is what he said. He's like, I don't need a control freak right now. And then I'm just like, okay, so where'd we land here? When are we doing the rehearsal? Because I don't know. I think we cut to the pictures. It doesn't look like they did
a rehearsal at all.
But I love that Cody kept fucking up the rehearsal when they did it, because he's like, I was getting frustrated, and then I'm the one. Everyone was good, and I was the bad one. And I was like, you truly were. He's like, we're gonna do this and then that, and they're all like, nope. Yeah. No.
It's like Cody has some self-awareness, but it's always 2 steps too late. Yes. Like it's always like, we've already moved on from the topic where we realized that you weren't self-aware. We've tried to move on, and then you're bringing it back like, yeah, I should have done that. Yeah, dog, but we're already gone. Like it's
hindsight 2020, brother. Like,
yeah, big time for him. He is late. So another tidbit. So later on in another season, one of his sons goes off to like college, and to welcome him back, he strings up all the lights again, and like they have like a big welcoming back party. And at some point, like it's a key point of the episode where he's up there doing the lights again, and like I think it was Hunter, and like when Hunter comes back, Cody is like, hey Hunter, like I put up the lights for you, welcome back. And he's like, oh thanks, and then like continues to like do whatever it was, and he just like, nobody gives a shit about your lights, Cody. Like, dog, like give up.
Yeah, what does he say? The lights are like showing that their families are coming together, or like something so stupid.
Everything's fucking symbolic, and you are just a nightmare.
Hunter is one of the only few kids I know which one is Hunter, because he's got like the neck, and I was like, he is Hunter. Like there's no way his name could be anything other. And he was wearing like a Beast Mode like Under Armour t-shirt, and I'm like, yeah, he is.
You are
absolutely
Hunter.
You are. Yeah,
Big time.
the kids were good for me. I'm like, could you imagine having 20 kids? Like, just in general.
I know.
Like, he has 20 some kids. Like, if it's not 20, it's very close to 20. It's
close. Yeah. Well, see, that's the other difficulty too, is then like there's other families on TLC that still have like, you got 17 and counting.
Yeah.
And you had Octomom at some point, and who knows if she had other kids. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of big families on TLC. It's hard to know how many are in each. Like, if you gave me a sheet of paper where I had to connect all of the families and the numbers of kids, I wouldn't pass.
Yeah.
I would pass. Never mind. I would pass. I would pass.
Yeah. Don't lie.
Who am I kidding?
You trying to impress?
Wasn't John and Kate plus 8 on TLC?
That I watched. I loved John and Kate plus 8.
Yep.
They hate each other.
I know. They are divorced, and
I can't believe how old those kids are now, because I'm like, get out of here. The little cute ass 8 of them are, or 6, I guess, because it's 6 and then twins. They had six sextuplets. Is that 6?
Man.
I don't know, but damn, TLC will do a show about literally anything. It's
I
like,
know.
your family's a little weird. Let's give them a show and see. Give them 15 seasons.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
As long as they stay together.
What
I
a
mean, the
show.
commitment ceremony. One last thing. The commitment ceremony is interesting. Going back to when they were taking the pictures, I honestly was like maybe analyzing this too much, but I'm like, it's interesting that they are taking separate pictures, because isn't the whole point of this commitment ceremony that they're all one?
Right.
Wow.
Right. But I think that like deep down, they do so for some sort of like almost like legality, or like some sort of like backup plan. Like, so to have for some sort of story that like in the future they're going to need to have. Like, I think that like they do so because they have to live like under the radar, so to speak. Like,
on TLC.
Or also just because they all have different houses. So like they want family portraits to like put in the houses separately. But it's, no, I totally agree. It's like, okay, but that's not the point of the ceremony at all.
I Googled a picture of Cody marrying Mary, because I was like, I need to know what he looked like and he's honestly kind of handsome. It's upsetting because he's got short hair. He's much younger. We'll post that on when we post this, we'll post the picture of them getting married, because I was like, if it's 25 years ago, if it's 30 years ago, he's got to be handsome. Like, there's got to be something that is like, okay, multiple people want to marry this guy.
Right. Yeah. And he's a good looking dude. And he got married to those 3, like all in the span of 3 or 4 years. I think literally Janelle and Christine were less than a year apart in their marriages.
Insane.
And unfortunately, because modest is hottest in this religious sect, and you could tell by the dresses that they're trying on for this ceremony, their wedding dresses did not look any better. They actually looked far worse.
I can only imagine.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I know. I want to look this up.
Bad.
I like it so much more after talking to you. Like, you make it like, after I watched it, I was like, that show is truly insane, but I get the charm of it. But after talking with you, I'm like, I could watch more. Maybe I could watch more episodes of this. It's
one of those things where, like, if you sort of conceptualize it in a certain way, like, it doesn't make it more appealing, because, like, Lord knows I yell at the TV enough, but it does make me watch it more, because I'm like, I gotta know like what this relationship is going to end up being. And TLC does a really good job of like stretching out the shit that does not matter, so that you watch until it gets to the shit that does matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they will stretch out episodes like you don't believe. But I will still watch the 4 hours of the same recap just to get to this one segment of whatever.
I also think you need a teammate in it. So like you and your wife, it's something that you can make. Like, you need to be able to have someone where you're like, you turn to them and you say, actually, what the fuck? What are we watching? Yeah. Like, I could never watch it by myself. So luckily I watched it with my roommate and we were kind of laughing at it. But I don't know if I was watching it alone, I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree. I think the only reason that we can watch it is because I'm watching it with with Carly. It's the only reason. That's the only reason I get through it. And then, like, not for anything. So like, if I'm not home for lunch and like Carly is, she'll still watch it, but she will like send me Instagram videos of literally everything that's happening, as if we are on the couch together going through it.
Aww.
So it's like, it is. Yeah, it's not a solo time show by any means.
Yeah.
It's probably better that way because you don't get the 4 hours leading up to the big moment. You just get the big moment on the Instagram story.
I get to skip around a little bit.
Like Mary is wilding out right now. You got it.
Oh my God. She always is wilding out. It's terrible. At some point, her daughter calls her out about how thin her eyebrows are. Like, what are we talking about, ladies? It's crazy. It's crazy. That's post catfish too. That's when the daughter is really upset about the catfish, but then Mary like refuses to like sit down and talk with her like an adult fucking human. And at some point she tries to borrow Robin's youngest baby, Solomon, to have as almost a buffer between her and her daughter to like have this conversation because her daughter loves Solomon, the baby Solomon, so much. And I'm like, Mary, just talk to her about how you made a dumb mistake and sent a picture of you like sucking on a banana to a stranger. I'm sorry. That's a lot.
That's excellent. Holy shit, that's what you sent? That's awesome.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
If you once you get into the catfishing, that's not TLC grade. That's like on the back end, like the person who was catfishing her released all their information and sent out all the pictures that Mary had sent her. It's an invasion of privacy.
Sure.
However, I needed to know.
It's the TMZ information.
TMZ, well, I get it. I understand why they.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh my God. Well, do you have any final thoughts on the show? Any wisdom you want to let us in on?
Nothing will ever be final. I will continue to live with the Cody Brown family and follow their mission statement until I reach enlightenment.
As you should.
And 3 more wives. I have the one.
Yeah.
All of my wives, the other remaining wives, will be my midwife crisis wives.
Midwife crisis.
It's such an odd show, and I try not to like get too judgmental about anything, and I don't necessarily about like their lifestyle or religion, but there are often times in the show where Cody will complain about something that would have been solved if he didn't have 4 wives. So that's the only judgment that I really lay upon their doorsteps, multiple steps. And yeah, those are my final thoughts. I'm so glad that you guys like watched it and somewhat enjoyed it because that was a real wild card there. So
look down the lens. Like insane. Anyway.
Look down the lens.
That's the picture we're gonna post.
Yes.
Everyone look out for it. But it's season 6, episode 19. If anyone wants to go back and watch it, I think this is a pretty good recap.
Yeah, I think we crushed it.
We hit all the points, but if you want to see the heinous dresses and the facial expression and hear him say it, then you should definitely check it out. I bought it on Amazon Prime. It was on sale for 99 cents.
Ooh.
Yeah, big steal. So I didn't even have to watch it in SD. I watched it in HD, baby.
Wow.
I saw everything.
Perfect.
All those dresses, all those safety pins holding up that godforsaken dress.
Every single one. All right, Kyle. Well, thank you for joining. What a great episode. Do you want to plug some of your movies? I watched one of them. I loved it. So let's hear some of the projects you've been working on.
Thank you. So something that's really off from Sister Wives, but I directed a documentary called Survival of the Film Freaks, which is now available on Amazon Prime. It's all about how cult cinema grew in America during the 60s and 70s, but is now how we define cult cinema in an age where we can find literally anything we want just on our computer, like with a quick Google search. Like, so what does the definition of cult mean? How does a following of a film exist in this day and age? I also sell a bunch of vintage horror and oddball memorabilia on Etsy under a store called Horror Finds. And I also every Friday release a shot on VHS memoir where I read my middle school and elementary school essays. And you can just find that on my Instagram, Kyle Kuchta. And that's been a lot of fun so far.
That's amazing.
So, I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's oh my god, it's been my joy to be able to go back and read how dumb I was for everybody else's enjoyment. It's been great.
And I watched Survival of the Film Freaks. It is incredible. I really liked it. It's very interesting. So go ahead. It's on Amazon Prime for free. Go ahead, watch that. It's really good.
Well, I would like a final statement to say that Matt only sent it to Kathleen and not me, so that's why I have nothing to say. So don't think that I'm just like a bitch that didn't watch it. Matt literally only sent it to Kathleen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matt.
Yeah, he's leaving her unprepared.
Because before you came on,
I haven't watched it.
It's good, Kyle. You should watch it.
Before you came on, she said it, and I was like, "Oh my god, he sent something that we were supposed to watch. Like I didn't watch it." And she was like, "Oh no, like he just sent it to me." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So, anyways, don't think I'm rude. It's just because he didn't tell me.
It's incredible.
That wraps it up for today. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us, making me aware of this crazy ass show that the world watches that I didn't even know existed, and that this happens. It's crazy. We loved it.
Super crazy. We loved it.
You entertained us for today.
Yeah, these kind of episodes are interesting because we usually do like not that this isn't an actual television show, but it's rare that we do reality. So it is just interesting. And like you said, it's kind of interesting to say when you were like, I don't really like to judge. I totally agree. And sometimes like after we've done a reality one, I'm like, damn, we were just talking about real people. Like it's not like you're trashing a fictional character. It's like these people exist.
You're I forgot to bring up the hold on. We are talking about real people and we are going to judge. No, we're not going to judge. She didn't go on to do any I mean, she says that she does more fashion stuff, but she was also a Lyft driver, a bartender at TGI Fridays, and a hostess at a few other places. So,
and that's Sam.
Seemingly still doing alterations, but not under the same name, I don't think.
Oh.
Yeah, she's got a new name. She had to get a whole new identity. She's in witness protection.
It's horrible.
What a time. Sorry, Sam.
That was brutal. She had to bring in her mom.
Oh,
That's sad.
Stop. All right, well, tune in next week for another episode of My Favorite Episode Of. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Kyle, for joining. Have a great week, everyone.
Woohoo!
This has been My Favorite Episode Of. My Favorite Episode Of is produced by Matt Kelly as part of the Geekscape Network and hosted by Julie and Kathleen. Check out our show notes for all of our socials and email us at myfavoriteepisodepodcast@gmail.com. Rate, review, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting apps, and we'll be back next week with another episode of My Favorite Episode Of.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.